What's going on, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another review for SpyXFamily. It's the season 3, episode 39. Of course, there's 2 parts. There's Avoid Getting Tonitrus Bolts and Squares Memory number 1. So before I go any further, I gotta remind you to go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of more reviews like this one. And if you want to support me even further, my Patreon link is in that description below. Whatever you choose to donate will be graciously appreciated. So this is, I probably say this about every episode of SpyXFamily, but this is a really good episode. Of course, I'm gonna give each part its own rating. I think I've just started to do that now because I believe in the past I just give the whole episode a rating. So let's just talk about this first part here. We get introduced to a new reoccurring character. Let me get my notes here ready. We get a new reoccurring character here. I'll just show her face right now. This is, especially those of you who probably cannot read this backwards, this is Madame Donna Schlag of the disciplinary committee. Apparently, she had been sick for a couple months with a severe illness, and she's back. She just immediately bestows Tonitrus Bolts for the smallest infractions. We're actually getting this information from another recurring character, Bill from class 1-4, I believe, who's supposed to be the same age as like Anya and Damien and Becky and Damien's 2 lackeys. I just know one of them name is Ewan. I think that's a Conehead. Does Conehead have buck teeth? I think he might have buck teeth as well, but he shows up, very dramatically, and he's fainting. She's introduced, like, she has this, you saw the butler guy with the egg head. His name is Rogan, which is funny because Raiden or Rai is part of, Thunderbolt's Tonitrus Bolts. Go figure. She catches an older student smoking and calls his name, grabs one, and the kid just go, ah! But later on, we see what she does. Again, this show is funny with people doing things that are like super exaggerated, or you don't know if they actually have superhuman abilities, but I feel like anything in here is fair play. It's a comedy. It's a comedy, a heartfelt thriller series. So a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense makes sense in this world. Like, and initially I wasn't laughing about any of this because she bugs the hell out of me. Like, and I'm not even talking about like the first 3 bolts we see her give, because she gives bolts to 2 other students who actually, I'm gonna pull out what she says to these 2 kids. She says uncouth language, unkempt clothes, and conspiring to engage in violence. And they were dressed like your stereotypical Japanese, like, not bancho, but delinquent kids with like the hair slicked back, and dang near pompadour and like open jackets. And she just gets the 2 bolts and just strikes them in the middle of their forehead. As a matter of fact, it's so stunning when she gives those bolts, because they're just, actually, they kind of look like Les Million from My Hero, but they're steadily just mumbling Tonitrus Bolts, Tonitrus Bolts. What are Tonitrus Bolts, for those of you who do not remember? Now remember, you need 8 stellar stars, which, get my girl Anya right here. You need 8 stellar stars to become an Imperial Scholar. You need 8 Tonitrus Bolts to be expelled. Anya has 1 star because she saved a boy from drowning, and Anya has 1 bolt because she punched Damien. Now, when Donna Schlag shows up, Bill tells us that she's responsible for hundreds of expulsions. She even meets Mr. Henderson, walking out in his cane, and he tells her, isn't this you might be overdoing it a little bit. And she's super surprised. She's like, Mr. Elegant? I heard that you are now in charge of the first years. So she's talking like maybe that's made you gone soft. He kind of has. First of all, Henderson's one of my favorite characters in this series. And you can tell just like him working with like the kids. I think that first interaction with Anya, Loid, and Yor, where the one guy made Anya cry about her actual, like trying to remember her actual parents on accident. And I think, did he punch that guy? I think he punched that guy. Like, he was so done with that. He's like, what are we even here for? After Loid's speech, like, we're supposed to be here helping these students and we're just grilling them and making them cry. He's gone soft after that. Because one of the funny thing before he gets to her is he's telling the students, like, hey, you guys are kind of slacking a little bit, showing up late, you turn in late assignments, get recharged over the weekend and come back ready to, he's like, not elegant, come back ready to be elegant, staring right at Anya. And Anya, the mind's like, why is he staring at Anya? Come on, yeah, Anya. And even the students are talking amongst themselves, saying like, oh man, I forgot my homework. Becky's telling her I forgot my homework. And Anya said, Papa's a demon, so I could never forget it. In her mind, him waking her up, which he does. Damien talking trash. I bet one of you guys will get 8 bolts and you'll be expelled before us. And Becky's like, you showed up late one time too. You overslept one time too. And now there's this standing bet because of his 2 lackeys going, if Damien gets a Tonitrus bolt before any of you, before any of you, we'll do a lap around the school naked, but in their underwear. Another funny thing, because we all know that Becky has the hots for Loid, but it's so funny because I guess she's been training with Yor. I almost forgot that, because in Anya's mind, she's like, it's almost time for the Hisatsu punch. And out loud, Becky goes, it's time for the knockout punch that Yor sensei taught me. And it is hilarious and kind of endearing for Anya to go, still in her derpy eye form, don't do anything too rash, Becky. So now this lady's shown up. And she's willing to harass these young people. And she's like, let me inspect their, what they have on. And like the first 2 kids that get bolts, one kid was like, oh, I knew I wasn't supposed to bring this in, bolt. The other girl's like, I didn't know I was supposed to bring this in. Should have known, bolt. And like, she's giving them demerits basically for not having handkerchiefs. And she tells this BS story. I'm calling BS. And if it's true, I'm on that student side, where the older student, was an Imperial scholar, went to the bathroom, didn't have a handkerchief to dry his hands, dried them on his pants. Then all the other students were like, oh, you pissed your pants, because he had wet stuff on the side of his pants. Like, are those kids dumb? Like, if it's on your lap, sure, on the side, whatever. Again, I think this is a complete BS story. But then she goes, yeah, and after that day, he turned to a delinquent. He was wearing a long poncho coat, shaved head on the side, mohawk. And yeah, he became rebellious and started working with the rebellion and has been locked up by the secret police. First of all, secret police are full of shit. So yeah, if this actually happened, I'm on that kid's side. Because Ostenia seems to be full of shit. But we'll get into that, especially in the second part. But yeah, so Damien's freaking out because they're all looking. He doesn't have his handkerchief. And so he's playing in his mind. He's like, oh, I'll ask my friend. And in his mind, Becky and Anya are calling him out. She calls him a booger head, butthole head. But he's like, but Anya's reading his mind. And he goes, but wait, I could never show my face to my father if I get one. And so Anya's like, I gotta save world peace, and just gives him her handkerchief with an A on it. And she goes, don't worry, I always bring 2 just in case. I'm like, okay. He goes up, presents it, tells a BS lie. She's like, why you got an A on it? Because there's an A in Damien. Anya goes up to go for hers, realizes she didn't bring her extra, but we do get one of Bond's kibbles. That's the only time that this was funny. Like, their moments were funny. Now we got a funny moment with her, because if any of you have ever, I'm pretty sure all of us, no matter how old we are, have had asshole teachers. I had a 6th grade teacher. Don't remember her name. If I did, I still wouldn't say it. She was just an absolute asshole, just mean for the sake of being mean. Those I hate when a person is mean just because they can be. Especially teachers. Why are you teaching kids then at that point? Leave. Go teach adults. Oh, because you know that adults would probably fight back at you, right? Yeah. So I don't like this character. She's reminding me of Trunchbull. She's reminding me of Dolores from Harry Potter. What's her name? I can't remember her last name, but those type of characters I hate. So of course Anya takes the bolt and she's crying, and then Damien's thinking, well, I'll go, I'll just confess. I can't let, Anya has like real tears. She's using their real eyes, the same real eyes she used when she gave, like the very detailed eyes when she gave him the handkerchief. And she reads the other lady's mind. What's her name? Donna. Yeah, Donna. Wow, Dolores. Donna reads her mind. It's like, did they try to pull a fast one on me? I'll give them both 2 bolts. And she just grabs his jacket and goes, it's okay. He gives her handkerchief back and says, I owe you one. I hate owing you one, but I'll pay you back. And Anya's like, I baked you a cake before. Now Anya thinks she's going to get a cake. Tells Loid he's happy that they're getting along. Sees the bolt and she goes, yeah, I got a bolt. This is technically her 2nd bolt. And he passes out. That was all a 5 out of 5. Just funny. We get like action scenes that make the school life action scenes are funny. Just like the dodgeball stuff where we first met. I'm gonna call him Big Bill. When we first met Big Bill. Now let's talk about Square's Memories 1. I'm just gonna call it Loid's Memories 1, because we are not going to be told his real name. As a matter of fact, when the announcer voiceover is about to say his real name, it gets real garbled real quickly. So as far as I know in the manga, they still haven't revealed his name. His name probably will never be revealed. I call him Loid when he's being a dad. I call him Twilight when he's doing the spy stuff. Excuse me. So, just go down here. So, this takes place in Lewin, the eastern area of Westalius, the area that's constantly getting attacked by Ostenia. So, we see what do I want to talk about first? Because in our intro to this, we see the kids are playing Ostenia versus Westalius, right? Loid and his friend with the glasses are always Westalius. The bigger kid and the other boy always Ostenia. And they have military stuff, except Loid has like a rubber band gun. And you see the guy going like he's making the noises. It's adorable. They're doing make believe. But Loid is already showing that he's like good at spy stuff, because he pulls a string to drop dustpans on them, then moves in with the rubber band gun and pop gets them. Even when they're just playing cards, he gets a full house to beat the 3 of a kind, because they found this bunker that Loid believes was a supply depot, storage depot for the army. So now it's their secret base. Even when he first catches up to them, they even have their own special knock, a phrase. One kid goes flash, and he goes thunder. You can already kind of see building blocks there, which is interesting because little Loid liked military stuff. Little Anya likes spy stuff, which her father's a spy. Now, let's talk about this family life for this guy. I don't know if I take any pictures of his family. It doesn't really make a difference, because in Loid's memory, remember, this is his memories. He does not remember what his mother or father look like. You ever like see when people draw like generic protagonists when they're doing like special stuff, when there's like stuff that involves like a no-name protagonist but named characters, it's kind of like this. Like, we hear voice. He obviously remembers their voices, but he doesn't remember what they look like. And I actually was on a Reddit thread that had a really good theory about that. Really, really good theory. If I remember to bring it up, I'll bring it up here. Maybe I'll bring it up next episode. But in his family life, he gets home late. He looks very happy after he's done playing with his friends. They call themselves the Four Musketeers. The lady who makes croquettes calls them the Brat Pack. They're known in the neighborhood. They're cute kids. And he gets home, his dad's like, "Oh, you out playing soldier with your friends again?" I gotta repeat word for word what he says. Playing foolish soldier games with his friends. And, he tells him to think about the future and study. Kind of sounds like current Loid, right? With his mission. And he's like, "Yeah, I have thought about it. I want to join the army with everybody else." And his father's like, "Don't. A coward like you only hold everybody back on the battlefield." It's just, okay, that's what you say to a little boy. All right. He's like, "But I can do it. I'll defeat all those bad guys from the east." And his dad smacks him. Now, here's the thing. Loid's had much harsher dialogue in the manga panel. I don't know if he called them devils or called them evil scum. I remember seeing the panel because I was looking up discussions of this because I find this is very fascinating. Love when we get lore dumps and when we get like interpersonal relationship stuff. And this is very topical for today. This is about warring places. Like, I don't know at any point in time where this would not be topical. But his father says something interesting. Even though his dad is abusive, he says something really interesting. He says, "Have you seen Ostinians carrying out misdeeds with your own eyes? Did you directly talk to one? Did you find out what they're like?" And of course, his mom interjects and she's like, "Hey." And his dad goes, "First of all, war's not going to happen." I'm like, "And that's a lie. So don't go willingly wishing for conflict." And I understand what he's saying. Like, even nowadays, where I haven't met a lot of people, at least in my generation. If you're around my age, our generation, even behind us, I haven't met many people that are gung-ho to go to war. I had one buddy who was, technically we both came from the same alma mater, but we worked together, who was like, "All right, after I graduate, I'm going to go, think he joined the Marines because it's in his family." That I get that, but he wasn't like, "I'm going because I want to go to war." And I definitely understand what his dad is saying. Like, don't, first of all, you're judging people that you've never met before. You've never met a single person from the East. So why do you believe these people are bad? And then, pardon me. And then you want to have a war with them. And I get it, but you didn't have to hit your kid. It would have been even a stronger moment to grab him by the shoulder, just like look at him. But you get the feeling that his dad kind of maybe worked for like the military. Maybe he was a spy. Oh, by the way, the thing on his room, hold on, this is so bright. Is this? I don't know what that means. I'm going to read it because it's backwards. It says, Gaishu Totsu Chu. I don't know if that means bedroom. But, Loid runs in there, covers himself in his covers. His wooden rubber band gun is broken. I guess he might have broken himself being upset. And he's saying, like, "You're one to talk. You always fight with mom." And they're fighting in the background. She's like, "Why did you have to do that?" He's like, "Well, you baby him too much. It's for his own good." Back and forth. Now, the next thing, because I'm skipping some things here because I want to finish talking about his family relationship here. I can mix it all in here. Earlier, the bigger kids kind of teasing him like, "Hey, you don't have any military stuff. You can't join the army if you don't have military stuff." And he says it again later on. And they have fake, like, these aren't real guns, but they have the real green color. They have the helmet that has the W on it. The kids are playing, but obviously they buy them from somewhere because there are people who are heavy into the military. As a matter of fact, when the kids are asked to help because there's a festival about to go on and people are hanging up flags, they're asked to help with everything. There's an old man going, you can't join the army if you guys are too weak to carry that stuff, which Loid seems to be on the one not struggling. Like 2 of his friends are visibly struggling, the other one's sweating, he's not struggling at all. And a thing on the radio goes off. The old man's like, those dirty devils in the east. And when Loid asks an adult, do you think there's gonna be a war? Those like, nah, just keep playing your war games. Ain't nothing gonna happen. We got this pact. Nothing bad is gonna happen. And old man's like, y'all too relaxed. You're fools. Peace has made you fools. It's gonna happen. And of course, the bigger kid makes fun of him again. Now, he only has 2 pennies to his name. And so he lies to his dad. His dad is about to go off on a quick work trip. Very sudden. Because there's trouble at the border. And it makes you think, like, is his dad like part of the military? Was he a spy? Was he actually from Ostinia, then came back over here? And he kind of smacked his son going, hey, we have people over there too, without saying it. Because he could have been followed by, I don't know, secret police from West Alias, anybody. I would be very interested in something like that comes back up later on in the series. Or even in the manga. I need to start reading the manga. I really do. So, Loid lies. He puts on that same smile that he puts on when he's lying to everybody. And says, I want to buy a reference book. He really wants to use the money to buy like the fake military gear. This is the first time we actually get a look at the Dalks. D-A-L. I thought it was D-A-L-C, but it's D-A-L-K. That's a D-A-L-K right there. If you could read backwards. No clue who that guy is supposed to be. But his father's happy. He says, you're finally applying yourself. He says, when I come back around, let's go to the festival together. Until then, behave. He's like, I will. And we get the black and white of him going, I lied. Now, in the manga, it's heavily implied that his dad lied, because his dad does that same smile that Loid does when he's lying to everybody. So, I don't know why that switch. I know why they probably switched it around. I don't know if that was what was meant in the manga, but it's an interesting juxtaposition. And you get the feeling that Loid was about to confess to his father. He's about to tell the truth, but he lets his dad leave. And he says, that day my dinner tasted like nothing. Because he probably didn't like lying. And he's probably getting second thoughts about this whole gung-ho about the military. So, after getting the military gear, and he's with his friends and they're about to play the game, he thinks of the moment with his dad. He thinks of the moment with the old man and lying about getting the thing from his dad. Again, I think this is guilt. So he says, hey guys, I'm going to go help with the square. I'm going to leave he just left the fake gun there. Still takes the helmet, which is a good thing he did. And he goes back. He's asked the lady for a croquette. And he says, he asks her if he's fit to be a soldier. And she's like, you don't need to be one. Wars are absolutely foolish. I love the underline. It is kind of hammering home, but I like that it is saying wars are stupid. They are dumb. Because he goes, well, the Austinians are devils with horns growing out of their heads, right? And he's like, don't they eat people? And she's like, I have cousins out east. Do I look related to a devil? And then we get a funny moment. He's like, a little bit. And she teases, she's a devil lady making croquettes out of human flesh, which is obviously a joke. And I like that it hammers home, because you got to pay attention to certain shots here, that we see what is to believe to be her family. I don't know who's supposed to be her, maybe that one right there, but it is hammered home that is her family, right? She tells him he looks cuter holding a croquette than a gun. She's like, I have family over there. If I don't look like a devil, obviously they don't look like a devil. And then he asks her if he can work in the shop real quick to just make $10 so he can pay back his dad. Good kid. And he's like, I really don't understand all of this yet, but I'm going to apologize to my dad tomorrow. And then he can play games with General, because his nickname is Advisor. their names, one of the kids' name is General. I'm gonna guess the bigger kid, but as soon as we see a bird in the sky and a missile goes by and hits, and when we get that close up, it's the storage bunker that they play in. Those kids have to be dead. And he goes, which is another way of saying what in Japanese. Not Nani, it's it's like what, like genuinely like what's going on, and more explosions. And there's another explosion in front of him. Like, I love visuals. There's a hawk in the sky. I also love the visual here. You probably might be. Love the visual here of just the black background and going, what? I like that because it hammers home like the confusion. Everyone kept saying there's not going to be a war. You hear on the radio, the Palestinian troops have crossed the border. Shots are being rung out everywhere. And wherever shot, like, let's just say 50 yards ahead of him, a brick comes flying, hits him in the head, but he has that helmet on. So it's kind of fate that he went and bought that stuff because that helped him live. He would be gone. And that's where this ends. And this last episode blends into the ending where we see Loid and his younger friend. And he wakes up as if he had a dream about all this. And he's getting ready with his family. You know, Anya, Bond, Yor. And they're having an outing. We get juxtaposition of him with his friends while they're out and him with the family. It's as if he's seeing both at the same time. Very good ending. Ending's called Actor, which, you know, it applies to Loid. Like, he's pretending to be this person, but kind of feels like he's supposed to be this person, right? He's supposed to be this father figure. He is supposed to be this guy who is trying to stop a war. We get a deeper sense of why he wants to stop everything. I believe he said at one point when him and Sylvia were stopping bad guys, might have been, was that season 1? Might have been season 1 because season 1 was pretty long, about not wanting to see any more children ever cry again. It's just, I find it interesting that he's hammering with Anya about the schooling, although that is part of the mission to keep everything safe. But you notice he always makes it a point to make up with Yor, and he always makes it a point to like do the right thing and to say the right thing, even though he has that weak ass mask of going, oh, this is just for the mission and we know better. It's because he wants to make things right. It's that trauma. It is that trauma that he's trying to fix. And I'm glad he's learned from it. It seemed like he's learned from it. Now, the next episode is going to be, I'm just going to say Loid's Memories 2. That's the whole episode. We're going to see a little bit older Loid. Probably not the Loid right now. Looks like we're going to see a younger Frankie. Maybe how they met. Maybe how he got into the OSS. I think that's the name of the spy. At least the Westalia spy people. I think it's called OSS. Fascinating. Good stuff. I'm going to try to put the ending and the opener in the description. 5 out of 5 for both of these episodes. Whole episode is a 5 out of 5. This is good stuff. Like, if you have not watched first, second seasons already and you're just listening to me, please go watch those and come back and watch these. This is good anime. Really good anime. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, please. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more reviews like this one. Stay tuned because tomorrow you'll be getting Digimon Beat Break. I know you guys love that too. So you want to support me even further? Patreon link is in the description below. Thank you very much. Please be good, be blessed, wash those hands, drink some water, be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk, all right? Remember, there are people out there that care about you, that would rather talk to you and rather than miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I promise you that, all right? Stay safe out there. It's getting crazy. Please, you want to talk to me? My social media is also in the description below. Give me a follow, give me a hello. We'll be good to go, all right? All right. Until next time, we're going to get another serious episode, and I'm all here for it. Waku waku.